What's up, everybody? This is the voice of Joseph R. Wheeler III, the artist, founder, and president of the ONYXCON Foundation. Welcome back to another ONYXCON exclusive. Today, you could say this is another in our series of a few of my favorite things. But it's a little bit of a sad one, y'all. Yes. One of my all-time favorite mobile video games, Dawn of Titans, is coming to an end this month. At the end of August, the company is pulling the plug on its game. This game started back in 2012. I can't remember, but I think it's been at least 4 years that I've been playing it, if not longer. And I can honestly say, of every game I've ever downloaded to my phone, which I don't have a lot. I'm very picky about what I put on my phone. So I technically have only had maybe a handful of games ever since mobile games became a thing. I just don't, I don't have time to play a lot of games. And when I do, I want something that intrigues me, that excites me, that has amazing graphics, and that can keep my attention and has something special about it and simple about it that makes it playable even when I can't do the in-game purchases, which all these games have to try and get you to spend money. With Dawn of Titans, I may have only spent $20 over all the years I've been playing on this game. $5 here, $5 there to get more rubies, to build my armies, and things of that nature. Oh, let me tell you what the game's about. So basically, you have these huge titans in a, I guess you could say Lord of the Rings type environment, right? These armies you build and these kingdoms you build have to fight for dominance and global control of their resources. Sounds familiar, right? Sounds like real world politics and military strategy, like a zillion other games out there. They're all pretty much the same in that way, the ones that are these types of games. But the thing that made this game unique is that the storylines and the concept art, especially the concept art and the graphics, were so intriguing. I literally loved every bit of the concepts. You had these floating worlds, literally like it's a cloud world that has these huge monoliths of land that you acquire and build your kingdom on. And you can basically colonize, because that's what it is, it's empire building stuff, colonize other people's cloud kingdoms and their islands, their assets, their resources, because each area will yield you either more gold, more corn to feed your armies and build your people and keep your people with sustenance, or you get the money to build more and more buildings, more and more infrastructure for your cities, your townships, etc. It's that type of game. I learned a lot about human psychology and even the structure of world politics and things like that through the metaphors of what this game offers. Like I say, this is not new. This is what it's been going on with a lot of games in this genre. But what made this game so unique is when I first started playing, I never wanted to really fight other kingdoms. I only fought the CGI games, all the computer games. I would go fight all the challenges they gave. I would play in story mode. I would avoid fights. But I would keep getting attacked. And I'd say, okay, why y'all messing with me? Until one day I went beast mode and I started challenging folks. And I quickly realized this is what the game wants you to do. It's supposed to be the way the game works. And sadly, in a way, because I'm very literal about the metaphor and the origin of things, I know all of the types of cultural aspects this game pulls from. I know a lot about cultural histories and the history of war and the history of empires and colonies and all of this. So I didn't want to be a part of that. But then I realized, okay, the game, this is the structure of the game. Win in Rome, as they say, right? Well, win in Dawn of Titans. Do what people do in Dawn of Titans. They fight all day, right? So I started challenging other kingdoms. And slowly but surely, I opened up my kingdom to other players. And I built a kingdom. And I'll never forget, I reached... I think I got up to platinum status once. And the thing is, every season, which is like a week, you drop back down or go back up to the next. You either stay at the level you're at or you get to the next level for being the highest fighting team in the game. You've got all you and your folks who've joined your kingdom, your group will keep dominating other kingdoms until you become the top one. And I've been number one a lot of times, and I've also been number 30, 50, 60. I've dropped back down to gold and silver status more times than I can count. But like I say, I did make it to gold a lot, and I did make it to platinum once. And, you know, had fun being number one for a few weeks here and there. And and again, this is such a metaphor for real life, because like they say, you know, you can have overnight fame, but what is real about it? Like, everybody wanted to be with me when I was number one. Like, I literally have like hundreds of people in my kingdom. And as soon as we would cross over to the next season, somebody else is fighting harder and winning more battles, everybody jumps ship. And all you left with is the loyal people. And you see who's loyal. And I can remember in my years of playing this game, I had one player who was the most loyal. Very, very symbolic of real life and real people. I mean, you know, it is real people playing in the game. So it reflects real people's energy. Like, you know, people ain't loyal. These people ain't loyal. So you never let it get to your head. You just kind of, and I enjoyed that about it. And I learned to, you know, not be so literal about how I approach the game so that I could enjoy it for the fun that it is. And I wouldn't let it go to my head that one day I'm on the top of the world and I'm number one, and another day I'm back to Silver League. Because the other thing I started realizing is you're not the only one. No matter how much money other people are putting into the game and how much they're gaining new characters and everything, everybody can fall from the top. So you would end up in the Silver League, and there would be folks who have Titans that are like super level, God level Titans, and you say, wait a minute, why is this person in the silver status fighting us, you know, regular little small army? That was the big frustration I noticed as the game went on. And I would beg the producers, I would send them letters sometimes. I say, hey, you know, I love your game. I just want you guys to consider, you've got to put up some blockades so that people who, you know, are either not fighting enough to get to the next level, and, you know, if they're in platinum and then they get dropped all the way back down to gold, they still got these powerful Titans, and they're just bullying people. I mean, there's no way to fight these folks. You wake up and you see that you've been hit overnight by a bunch of different armies, and you go see who it is, and everybody's got millions worth of power. When you do the chart, you know, you basically gather your armies up, you got your armies, you got your Titans, and no matter who you come up with, no matter what your most powerful folks are, none of them are ready for what these people have, because they got all this crazy stuff. I can't fight them. Like, what is that? I was like, that's not fair. That's going to make the game suck, and people are going to start leaving the game. So slowly but surely, even with millions of followers all over the world, players, I personally think that's why the game had to shut down, or is going to shut down, so that maybe they can come up with something else. And I'm really, really hoping that by something else, they are trying to do Dawn of Titans 2, but they can't do it on the current server. They got to create a whole new server and a whole new deck, because the game deserves to keep going. It's an awesome game. But I really hope they've been listening to people like me, because they would respond and they say, thanks for your suggestions. We'll put them into our next think tank, so to speak, whatever. Hopefully they're going to do that, y'all, because if this game would get to the point where, you know, okay, if you reach a point where you're just inactive and you're not playing, maybe they send you an email, hey, you haven't played in a while, we're going to put your game on, I don't know, it could be like being on a dating app and being inactive on the best ones, where they say, hey, you've been inactive, we're going to close your account, or we're going to put your account on silence, or it won't be visible, and when you come back, you can start everything and it'll still be there, but we're not going to just let it be taking up space and energy. So I get that if that was the problem, but like, figure out a way to do it, because if you can get to the point where you shut down people who are inactive, or you take the bullies and make it like, guess what? You were platinum, you never reached the ultimate level, but, you know, to all the platinum bullies, you can't go back to silver level because you're just not fighting enough, and when you do fight, you're not doing enough to compete with the other folks who have million level Titans, you know, in power. And you know, their defense and offense is so incredible. Can't nobody fight them but the other God level characters and stuff. Okay, we're going to literally force you guys who are on that level, since you've invested in the game, put money in and bought these expensive Titans and stuff. Y'all can just stay over here in, you know, the platinum, but you can't get to the legend level, or, you know, you can't get to the next ultimate level. You got to put in work, plain and simple, and that would be cool then, because then the fact you can't go backwards, you can't get back down here with everyday little guys trying to just fight our way to the top and spend a little bit of money when we got it, if at all, and just have fun because we love the game, you know? So it is what it is. Now, another thing this game used to do is they would have these seasonal themed challenges. These were awesome. Oh my gosh, how much fun have I had playing those? I can't show you an example of one, y'all, because of course with the game shutting down, they don't have anything running right now. But they would have these things like, say it's Halloween, and they would have the most grotesque, crazy monster type characters, the Titans. You could win this Titan, you know, and you would join these battles where they give you the most powerful armies, like for free, like nothing. You just get all these Reavers and doggone, oh my gosh, like the most powerful level, like level 20 something Unocs, which are like the fire people, which I love so much. I'll talk about the different races in a minute. It's awesome. And you know, you go to battle with these folks, and the battles were incredible. I have so much fun, and you could play with all these Titans that you could never afford, and it was just, it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. I loved every minute of it, and I was like, this is awesome, y'all. This is awesome. And then it would end, and then it would wait a few weeks, and they come up with another one. And some were more fun than others, but the best of them, oh my gosh, I had so much fun playing this game, y'all. I mean, you know, you're sitting on set. I'm an actor. You got downtime between takes or between whatever you're doing. And I pull up this game a lot of times. It would give me hours of entertainment. So thank you, Dawn of Titans. You are so awesome, and that's why this is dedicated to you. Now, another thing to say about this game would be the fact that you could customize these characters with, you know, different elements. Like you can give them immunity to ice or fire and all these other magics that you use in the game. That was so awesome because you would learn to use that wisely, and it starts to become like a game of chess. Now, I play chess, so that's the other thing I think made me love this game so long, because you have different types of characters that have different powers, just like every piece on the chessboard has a different type of power and a different way to be used in strategy. So you get out on the battlefield and you start learning, okay, I'm going to send my Panthers at all the archers and the fire bombers first, the Unocs, because if I don't, they're going to fry my army and shower them in arrows, and we're going to be dead in the first 2 seconds of the battle. So you get your fastest folks over there, your Panther riders, and then you send in your militia, or you send in your spearmen, or you send in whoever on, you know, the big Titan, and get them weak, and then you bring your main Titan up and finish them off. And then, you know, I had it down to a science, and I was, man, I'm telling you, I'm really good at the game, y'all. I just always struggled to get the most powerful Titan, so every now and then I would meet my match, right? So, like I say, this game is going to be missed because it's such an awesome concept. And the other thing I really hope happens, because I wrote the folks who make the game about this, and I told them, I say, I'm in the film business. And if I had the money today, I would be telling y'all the ultimate pitch on how to make this a movie. I would be a producer trying to get this made into a movie. This needs to be a movie. When I tell y'all these characters and this concept is so rich, I mean, the concept designer, I don't know his name right off, but I've seen videos on YouTube of the team. They're a company out of England, English company, British company, and they would have these meetings with the top producers of the game. And as I remember it, they were all young. They were like young guys, like 20-something, 30-something. It was like, and I always remember it was like 2 white guys and a black guy. And the black guy was the head of the concept art department. The fact that he was black made me proud, y'all, because his concepts, he always paid a lot of homage to ancient Egypt. They have these Egyptian gods you can acquire as Titans. They have other peoples of the world, all people of every culture in the world. They got everybody's gods and goddesses, generally covering all the major groups, if you will, of ethnicity. You had, you know, Japanese gods and goddesses, you had Chinese ones, you had, oh my gosh, you have people who represent various Norse gods. You got Thor in the game. Thor is dope as hell, by the way. You've got Poseidon, you know, you got the Greek gods, you got Zeus, you got all that. You got these characters, I mean, the ice elves, if you will, the spearmen culture, they are kind of like, to me, they look like British. You know, they're blue skinned, but they look British to me. You know, even though, you know, white British, I'm saying, but they have a certain look that just looks like what has been stereotyped in British film and everything of military men that are, you know, of Anglo stocks or whatever. So they got that look. You got folks who You got Black Knights. You know what I'm saying? They played tribute to the fact this is history. This is real history. There were African knights. You have Black Knights. You know, you got your European knight and medieval cultural stuff. All that's in there. But then, like I say, they went outside the box of Europe. They went into other stuff. They went into Egypt. They went into Kemet. They went into parts of Asia. They went into even Mexican motifs. You've got Aztec god character. You know, you've got Mayan characters. You've got the Earth. Then you got the odd races. Like, they're not human. They're just like these. They're like orcs. They're like trolls. They're like all of that, right? But they have these, again, back to human mythologies, homages in the motifs of their armor and their weaponry and the designs of their clothes and their armor. I swear, it's so beautiful. I mean, look at this stuff. Look at it, you know? But basically, the Earth Oak, or I guess you could call them ogres or trolls, they are like, obviously, an homage to a lot of cultures, but especially, I would say Mayan and Aztec is deep in the way their armor is, right? Dope, so dope. And their clubs are obvious homage to Aztec war clubs, and they're huge, and they're like giant hammers that shake the earth when they quake, and you know, like one strike and they blast like 100 men on the battlefield. It's just dope, man. It's just amazing stuff, right? Yo, if you really want to see something to explain that and show how that would look in a movie, the opening trailer for Dawn of the Titans, like the first ever promotional trailer, if that doesn't get your heartbeat going and making you wish this is a movie, I don't know what you need in your life. This is awesome, right? So, one of my favorite groups of all these odd humanoid groups are the Unoc. The Unoc are, I'm gonna just be real. When I first saw them, I was like, oh, wait a minute now, hold up, what are we doing here? Because, you know, the history of racism in science fiction and fantasy is very deep. And unfortunately, a lot of times if you see anybody who looks like they're supposed to be representing black people, you know, we get a little concerned about that over here, y'all. We like, wait a minute, whoa. Who this brother with some damn teeth hanging out his mouth like a monster? Then I realized, oh, they're like supposed to be like fire orc people, right? So they're orcs, but they are orcs that worship fire. Like, and they have this connection to pigs throughout the game. Like, there are pig gods and things and titans, and they have this fire pig god thing. And like I say, they worship fire. So they have this human face that only resembles, let's just be honest here, certain African features, because that is wide and broad. There's not one type of African face and features, okay? But they have these features that are obvious, and then they have the nerve to have dreadlocks, all right? I mean, straight up, I ain't gonna say dread, because, you know, that's a whole nother debatable phrase. You know, the only people call them dreadful is people outside the cultures of African cultures. They didn't call, we don't call our own here dreadful, okay? It was a label given, and people may have adapted it, but anyway, not gonna get too deep on that. Look it up if you don't know what I'm talking about. It's something to know. But the dreads, they had dreads, and the dreads are cool, and they're really well done. Like I told you, the graphics in this game are crazy. So when I found out that the head of the creature design department is this, you know, concept design, character design is this black guy, I thought, he's putting in some stuff here, and he's just having fun. And I'm not gonna try to be so, I could see it was done tastefully, and they're some of the most powerful characters in the game. Like, straight up, they are one of the most powerful groups in the game, period. So I thought, okay, it's kind of a dope homage, and let me just stretch my mind outside of racism and people making fun of people or trying to be ugly about things, and maybe this is just all about badassery. You know, this is just, they're like Klingons, straight up. They're like the history of Klingons, how, you know, in Star Trek, they started with white actors, and they were, you know, a lot of people have said historically, you break down the history of Trek, they'll say, you know, when they started, they were like, you know, a reference to Russia and Eastern Europe, and people who at the time in the 60s, America may have had different issues with or whatever. So they were representing that in this warlike, always ready to fight culture, the Klingons, right? And they didn't even have the brow ridges and the really odd heads or anything yet. But they would be tanned. They would tan their skin. So it's like, okay. And they'd be white actors with, you know, tan skin and stuff. And then by the time you get to Next Generation Star Trek, of course, we got the classic Klingon design that everybody knows and loves through characters like Worf. And you start to see that this is a thing to use a lot of black actors. Not always. There's white actors that played Klingons. There's Latin actors. There's Asian actors. But a lot of black actors played Klingons, and some of the most powerful ones ever known, right? So you see this thing, and then you say, okay, so that's kind of like what's going on in this game with the Unoc. They're like the Klingons of the game. They're warlike. I mean, the whole game is war, so ain't nobody, who's more warlike than the next, but they all war, right? They're all warriors. But they're like tribal and all this stuff, And everybody's got a tribal history. Europeans have a tribal history. Africans got to have it. Human beings have tribal history. So again, it was a touchy thing. But then, I saw the love of how these characters are designed. Their armor is off the chain. They have these systems of power, and I said, okay, this is some other stuff. Like, again, let's get into a movie with this. As a writer, I would love to make this a film and be in it and write it and all of that. I really would. So I'm throwing that in the pot forever to say Dawn of the Titans needs a movie. I'd love to be a part of it. And the concept designs, the storylines, the flow of the game, and the chess rudimentary movement and strategy of the game is classic. And I'm going to miss this game. So enjoy these characters that I'm showing y'all. Enjoy all these quick clips of battles just to give you a feel for how the game is. And I want to say that all of what you're seeing is a result of the game shutting down, and they literally just took they opened up all the doors. Like, if you've been playing the game, you can just go in there and get all the most powerful Titans right now for nothing. Like, literally, I just spent hours tapping these boxes that are like mystery boxes. You never know what you're going to get, which is so fun, and it explodes, and then you see, oh, I got so-and-so, I got this character, whatever. It's like opening a pack of baseball cards and never knowing who you're going to get, right? And I got some of the most powerful Titans in the game that I've been wanting for years. It really sucks that I'm only getting them now, but I promise you I'm going to be playing this game for the rest of the month and just living in full nostalgia and holding back the tears because I love this game. And yeah, man, look at this. This is amazing. So shout out Dawn of the Titans. You will be missed. Much love from ONYXCON and Joseph R. Wheeler III. And if you ever want to make that movie, let's talk. Peace.